to the 5th season of Heartbeat of Holliston, where we bring you the people and stories that make Holliston a good place to live. I'm Chris O'Lawless.
And I'm Paul Saulnier. Tonight we meet some of the people behind the Cystic Fibrosis-Cycle for Life, watch the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Veterans Center access point, check out the first farm-to-table dinner fundraiser for the AgCom, and sports updates from Jay Wyman. So let's get this show going. This Columbus Day weekend will mark the 20th anniversary of Holliston's hosting of the Massachusetts CF Cycle for Life. Since it began, over 4,000 riders have raised $2.4 million for people with cystic fibrosis. We welcome Patty Austin, one of the organizers this year, and Terry Waite, the development director for the CF Foundation. The Cycle for Life started 20 years ago here. How did that come about?
It's kind of an amazing story, I think, because one of Holliston's own, Matt Verrill and his wife Amy, they decided to launch the event. Their niece Haley was born with cystic fibrosis in March, as a matter of fact, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to help. And Matt decided that a cycling event was something that would really help launch awareness in addition to raise funds for the foundation. So only a few months after her birth, they started with the CF Cycle for Life. It was actually called Cycle for Haley then. Yeah. And there were probably about 40 riders, and they raised $8,000.
Really, with just 40 riders?
It was amazing. Yep, it started at the First Congregational Church, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that year.
And we only did one route that year. We did 25 miles. And after that, it's really grown into an event that now we have a 12, a 30, and a 65-mile route. Oh. And we have closer to 300 riders.
Wow.
So that's really exciting.
And I understand that format has been duplicated all over the country now, right?
It was really exciting. Thank you for asking. We had the opportunity back in 2010. Our national organization said, oh, look what's working so well here in Holliston. We might try to do this across the country. So the timing was right, and now we have closer to 40 different sites across the country.
Wow. So tell us, what is cystic fibrosis?
Cystic fibrosis, as a lot of people refer to as CF, is a genetic disease. It affects the lungs and digestive system. There is no cure for the disease, so that's where we come in, and that's why it's so important to raise funds. There are approximately 30,000 people in the United States that have the disease, and the CF Foundation has been in existence since 1955. It was started a little bit the same way that Matt started, kind of organically and grassroots, by a group of parents who said, we've got to do something. Our kids are dying. And in 1955, the life expectancy was really only less than 5. Really? So today, it is now into the 30s and 40s.
So research is making advances.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing difference. It really is. You know, Haley now is 18, or actually she's 20 years old. The event is in its 20th year. Yeah. And she spoke to the group last year and said she really hoped that by the time she turned 18 there would be a cure. And while we haven't done that, unfortunately, we're still working with diligence.
Yeah. So then, what do you expect to happen on Columbus Day? What's going to happen?
Patty, what do you think? We're going to have a great day.
Are you ready?
It's going to be a beautiful day. We've been working hard. We have so many volunteers. This community is just amazing. The Lions come out for us. Staff here at HCAT come out for us. Friends. We have about 100 Holliston people who help with this event, volunteer for this event. It's really amazing.
Well, you've got a lot of riders and a lot of miles, so
we have a lot to cover.
Yeah. And so, how do you find out about the event? How can people help?
Well, we have a website. The global website, if you will, for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is www.cff.org. We have a local page, and all of our teams are registered there. And the website there is a little bit more complicated, but it's http://fightcf.cff.org. Ride MA. So we have all of our riders listed there, and we have 40 teams, and we have about 280 riders that are registered already.
Well, we had some still photos of the spirit and what's going on there too from past years, and it's just an amazing event.
It is really.
And there's a new initiative, we understand?
Yes. Lisa Hedrick and I, Lisa who has 2 daughters with CF here in Holliston, they're public about their disease. we were trying to figure out how can we celebrate 20th year. I mean, that's kind of amazing. And we were trying to figure out how to raise funds and awareness, and we thought, let's try to get 1,000 people to give us $20 and raise $20,000, so the 2020 thing. Yeah. And we thought, how can just the two of us do this? And though CF is a rare disease, we put our heads together, and we know a dozen people just here in Holliston who are impacted by cystic fibrosis. So we reached out to them and got their permission to use their stories in our campaign, figuring that though you may think you don't know someone who's impacted by CF, maybe you'll see, oh, I live next door to the Aronians and they have a grandchild with CF that might inspire you to make a donation.
There you go.
So we reached out to about a dozen people in town, and there are people who've lost siblings, there are people with children who have CF, grandchildren. We have a wonderful volunteer who had the unfortunate event of having to make a decision to donate organs, and the lungs went to someone with cystic fibrosis, because that's the only way right now, that it's the only alternative to dying is a lung transplant still. And so he met the person who received the lungs, and he's been a volunteer for us ever since. So that's kind of how we found our people and spread our story.
You're still looking for the 1,000 people?
We are,
okay.
Yes.
So how do they get a hold of you? Through the same website?
This website will also provide that, and there may be some people in Holliston might have noticed our banner is up.
Yep,
I forget where it's up, Patty. Do you remember?
Yes.
It's Holliston Heroes 2017. If you Google that, you can get to our donation page.
Okay.
So,
great.
Yeah.
So what's the takeaway for us all today?
Well, I think that we would be grateful for that Holliston community to continue their support. As we've said, it's 20 years, and the changes and progress that we've made is extremely impressive, and it's a real reflection of what a wonderful town you have here.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, while we like to think of ourselves as close to the finish line, we're not there yet.
Okay.
So we've got some work still to do. So we'd appreciate it if you want to ride with us, if you want to donate to Holliston Heroes or volunteer. We've got all sorts of options.
All right, great.
Thank you so much for telling your story.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for raising our awareness about cystic fibrosis. To find out how you can help, go to, we're going to show a segment up there? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, one of the most special events this summer was the first ever farm-to-table dinner, benefiting the Friends of the Holliston Community Farm. Over 100 people feasted on a dazzling array of the freshest vegetables, herbs, and meat, all locally grown and donated from Upswing Farm, Silverwood Farm, Outpost Farm, and Kilkelly Farm. The menu included herb-roasted pork loin with caramelized onions and fruit compote, pulled turkey and black bean chili, cabbage and summer vegetable slaw, and a fine selection of homemade desserts, cookies, and pies. Support from Holliston in Bloom, the Garden Club, and the Historical Society added to the real community spirit at Christ the King Church. Mayor Bobby Blair presented the America in Bloom Community Champion Award to P.J. Kilkelly, who's the chairman of the AgCom, for his service and many contributions to Holliston's horticulture and farm community.
We're here at the Christ the King Lutheran Church, and it's the first farm-to-table community supper. As you can see, there's a lot of activity here in the background, and we're going to have a great time tonight. How many people are you expecting tonight?
We're hoping for about 120, which is awesome. I am so delighted with it.
This is really exciting. Is this the first big fundraiser the farm has ever had?
No, we had our summer event up on the property. That was the first one. This is the first farm-to-table event that we've had. So we're really looking forward to it. And I want to thank all the people that have helped out today. It's been absolutely wonderful.
So how many farms are producing the food here?
Upswing and Silverwood Organic Farm in Sherburne.
And whose idea was this?
I don't know. Well, I need to talk to him.
Okay. Okay. Jamie, you're the chef here tonight.
Yes.
How did you get involved in this?
I sort of came in last minute. Laura Rainey from Silverwood Farm actually found me. I was a member of their CSA last year. And I think they were struggling to line up a chef for the event. A lot of people, this is a tough time of year, a lot of people on vacation. And I've got 2 young kids, so I don't get a vacation. And so Laura was like, well, hold on, before we throw in the towel, I know a chef. Give me some time to get a hold of him. We'll see what we can do.
So did you come up with the recipes we have here tonight?
I did. Basically, I got sent a produce list from Upswing Farm, and they were sort of needed a menu to help facilitate the programs and all that stuff. So I just said, okay, here's what she says she can give me, and I just sort of made up a list from there, and then sort of crossed fingers that all that stuff would show up. So we actually have pork loins and some sausages, some hot Italian and some sweet Italian sausages that are from that pig. We actually have turkey from Outpost Farm. They were able to donate some stuff. And then we have stuff from Upswing, stuff from Silverwood. Peaches for one of the dishes actually comes from Holliston Orchards or Highland Orchards, right? Yeah.
So everything is right from the farms in Holliston.
Everything as much as we can came. You know, we were really focusing. I think that's what actually made this menu sort of a challenge to actually put out, is that the focus wasn't on what you could buy at the store. The focus was what somebody could give you. And so it was getting that produce, being able to make a menu with that produce, and then actually being able to, like, all hands on deck, let's do something with this stuff. So well, it takes a village.
It obviously does, and we've been watching you do it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We're looking forward to eating it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Yeah. It's just now we just got to make sure we get everything out on the table.
Was a huge success, said P.J. Kilkelly, and we were delighted with the end result. We grossed $4,500 with a net profit after all expenses of $2,500. The money will be used for material to repair a structural crack in the house foundation at the farm. Next year, we may do the farm-to-table dinner twice, early summer and late summer. Hopefully, in the not-too-distant future, we will be able to have these and other events at the farm. Paul, you were there with me. Wasn't that amazing?
It was amazing. The food was unbelievable. In fact, I spoke to the chef before everything was served, and seeing that spread, I asked him if he had ever been on Chopped. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
And he said he's actually applied for that.
He'd be good at it.
Oh, he would. I mean, the food was just unbelievable. And the list of desserts was just fattening.
Yeah, it was super. If you weren't there this year, then you should be next year. Don't miss it.
A milestone for Holliston this summer was the opening of the new Veterans Counseling Office in Holliston at the Parks and Rec building. The Community Access Point, or CAP, offers increased accessibility and convenience for local veterans in Greater Metro West.
At the open house and ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Community Access Point for Veteran Services right here in Holliston to serve vets in the Middlesex County area.
Well, we are very excited about this today. This area, the Parks and Recreation Center in Holliston, the Board of Selectmen have donated space for what we call a community access point for veterans and their families to receive readjustment counseling services. This vet center systems are part of the Veterans Administration, and we have 7 vet centers in the state of Massachusetts. So we will be staffing the vet center with a counselor who will be here 2 days a week. Mm-hmm. So this is an opening ceremony to let the public know about this community access point in Holliston, and we're very excited to do this and to offer more veteran services.
So it seems like veterans in the past would have to go to Worcester, but now this is going to let people come from this area. They don't have to go all the way to Worcester. They can just come to Holliston. Is that one of the goals of these community access points?
Yes, it is. It's a huge piece of what the vet centers do in terms of outreach, because even though we have the 7 fairly large vet centers, Massachusetts is a very large state, and we able to offer services in communities sometimes where it might be difficult due to the logistics of the forwarding vet center to the communities. And community outreach is a huge part of what we're trying to do with readjustment counseling.
I'll bet you're going to reach a lot more vets, maybe some that never even went to Worcester before. Do you think that'll happen?
Oh, absolutely, because in Holliston, it's somewhat, south of Worcester, so we're hoping that we can reach those people who may have had a hard time going to the Worcester Vet Center.
As vets and members of the American Legion here in Holliston, what does this center mean to you guys?
I think it gives us, our local veterans, more access to what the VA does, particularly those that are suffering with PTSD, sexual trauma, alcoholism, drug dependence, that type of thing, whereas they really didn't know where to go before, but with this being this close, they have better access to it.
The facility is beautiful, too. It's very private. It's off to the side. I can see where it would be really a very comfortable place for people to go.
Yeah, I've asked the head of the MWRTA if they'd be interested in putting a stop out here so that, those that don't have their own transportation could get on the bus and either come from Milford or come from Framingham or whatever and get off and get on right here.
That's an excellent point. You think they'll do it?
Yes, I do. Ed Carr, who's the head of the MWRTA, is a veteran himself, and he's one of the main drivers behind a lot of the things that happen for veterans in this area.
Carolyn, what does this community access point really mean to the veterans in our area?
It really means access to the services and the supports that they need and deserve when they come home. We've heard for some time now about, the hidden wounds of war and the toll it takes on both veterans and their families who are affected by this when they come home. And what this service center really offers is a local opportunity for veterans to find the services that they need to transition back to civilian life, and those services are free. They're confidential, and they're available to their families, so it's truly responding to their needs that they've expressed to us.
One of the things I like is it's been a community effort, like the Holliston community stepped up to give them this space. How did that come about?
Well, it's really about providing local access, and I believe that the CAP program was looking for more space, and thankfully Holliston, which has always been a veteran-friendly community, always in whatever way we can provided supports to our veterans.
Okay, here we go. For the Heartbeat of Holliston, I'm Chris O'Lawless.
This year marks the 70th anniversary of the founding of the Holliston VFW, Leonard D. Chesmore Post 8507. There will be a special banquet on November 12th, and of course the annual Veterans Day Parade on November the 11th. This month, the Public Library will be honoring the VFW with a special display of items from foreign wars and memorabilia of the founding and history of the post. The library also has a table featuring books and DVDs about war. It's not too late to catch the library's month-long movie salute to the VFW. They are showing Flags of Our Fathers on Wednesday, September 27th at 7 p.m. In October, Fisk's will dedicate a new window display to the VFW, honoring veterans, Holliston's veterans, and historic and active community. HCAT student intern Cam Guilfoy produced a video project on the 18 Veterans Memorial Squares in Holliston. He filmed each square and the research and the veteran it is named for. You can watch this original and informative video on HCAT and also on our webpage, YouTube, and Facebook. We hope you enjoy it, and be sure to like it on YouTube.
Over the summer, 2 important capital projects at the schools were accomplished. The Flagg School demolition is now complete. Let's watch the big machines from start to finish. Jeff Ritter, Holliston Town Manager, told HCAT, the environmental remediation and demolition of the former Flagg School was officially completed on August 31st. The project was completed on schedule and under budget. Grass is now growing on the site, and we have been advised to leave the site alone for at least 1 year to allow the grass seed to take root. There are no immediate plans for the site other than to leave it as an open field and to cut the grass starting next spring. The other project was the new gym floor at the high school. This was initiated by the efforts of the Friends of Holliston Basketball, who raised $100,000 from the community in just 5 months. Dr. Brad Jackson and Keith Bidet were pivotal supporters. Check out the Friends Facebook page for updates on their fundraising effort and a community ceremony that's upcoming. We have a statement from Matt Baker, Holliston's athletic director. The new gym floor project started and ended and is almost complete. We hope to have our first game on the new floor on September 18th, when the volleyball team hosts Ashland. The old rubber gym floor was outdated and tough to maintain. This was a very involved project, as the old rubber floor had to be ripped up and a thick layer of asphalt below the floor had to be scraped down a few inches in order to allow for a wood floor. The wood floor gives us a state-of-the-art surface that not only the sports teams, but that all students at Holliston High School will get the privilege of using. And now we have Jay Wyman to tell us all about the upcoming sports season.
Hi, Crystal and Paul, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Welcome, a brand new series, new season and everything?
Yes.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
You guys do a great job, and I'm sure you'll continue this year. The floor looks beautiful, by the way. We did get to see that, the new gym floor, and it came out really nicely. So I think it's going to help athletically as well as aesthetically.
Yeah.
That's 2 big words for me.
Yeah.
I got a quick little recap of where the school teams are doing this year, how they're doing. Just the other day, Shane Lunny from the golf team got a hole-in-one, which is great. So he started out doing that, which is really fabulous. The golf team right now is currently sitting at 2-4. The girls and boys cross-country teams both unfortunately lost their first meet, but I've seen them out here running around town all the time. You see them out, so they're out there training, and they'll do much better, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The field hockey team stands at, with the girls field hockey, 1-3-1. Girls volleyball is 2-3. And the girls soccer is doing well at 2-2. The boys soccer team is really doing well. They start off at 5-1, and they have a really good season, following up on the great season they had last year. And finally, the football team is sitting at 1-1 this year. They beat a team from Millis that many are predicting to win another state championship in their division, and they lost a game just this past week to Lincoln Sudbury, who is in Division 2. Holliston this year is in Division 5. Lincoln Sudbury is in Division 2. So they lost a game to Lincoln Sudbury, but they're going to bounce back this week against Westwood, and they start the league season this week.
Okay.
And they'll have the next 4 games will be against the Tri-Valley League large teams.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a good season out of them. The kids worked really hard over the summer. All the teams worked really hard over the summer, and we'll have some really strong athletic teams.
For the football team, anybody on the injury list yet?
Yeah, Ben Thomas, unfortunately, is out. He's one of the captains. He's a running back, and I believe he'd also would have been a linebacker. I'm not sure what his situation is, but we've seen him. He hasn't been able to play recently.
How are we looking for quarterbacks?
Quarterback Ryan Benko has done a nice job. He played when he was younger, and a freshman, I believe, maybe even the sophomore year he played, and he does very well. We saw him. Tom and I have gone to some of the passing league games over the summer and everything. He looks really good. He throws a really nice pass, strong arm, very intelligent, very athletic kid. Really good speed. And in fact, in that game against Lincoln Sudbury, he had to scramble a lot. So he showed his prowess there, both intellectually and physically.
And do we have a backup quarterback?
I think the Arvanitis will be doing that, and he looked pretty good. He's another kid. He's a little smallish, but good runner. Another very quick athlete.
Have they played him at all?
No, he hasn't played at all.
Okay.
So, but they look very good, and I think they're gonna be okay. If they win their league, then of course they'll be in the playoffs again this year.
Sure. So what is it you brought along for us?
Well, what I got today is this is the new book, Holliston Panther Football. This was written by Ken Dunn, who actually went to Holliston back in, I believe, in the 70s, and he's written a couple of books. He wrote a book about his college baseball team. and he did this book. As you can see, this book is over 800 pages long, but it's a really fun book to read because what it does is it breaks down every season of Holliston football starting back in 1896.
Wow.
Coming all the way through every season. He has done a tremendous amount of research. A lot of people here were involved in seeing what he did, and no one else has done any of this research in any teams in the Tri-Valley League. Oh. So he had to put this all together himself. It's a book.
Do you know if it's available at the library?
It's available at Fisk's.
Okay.
And there's going to be a book signing October 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Fisk's. John Paltrineri is going to have the books there. You can also get them ahead of time at Fisk's and take them down for signing. Okay. Ken Dunn will be there. Tom Cater will be there, old football coach. Todd Kiley, the current coach. H-Cat will be there. Yeah. We'll be there to help out. Yeah. And a lot of the former players are coming. So if either you or anyone you know has had any history at all with any of the Holliston football teams going way, way back to 1896, have them get this book and have them read it. It's really fun. Everything is broken down statistically, and little blurbs, all the little newspaper blurbs are in here. It's a really fun.
I'm sure Joanne Hulbert, our town historian, will have a copy
of that. Sure she will. Yeah. I'm sure she will.
Be a great Christmas present for anybody.
It's a fantastic Christmas present. And like I said, even though it's 800 pages, I went right to the page when I played for Ashland and we lost to Holliston back in 1967. Yeah. And I went back to that page and read about that game. I am mentioned in that game.
So we're plugging you.
But you still sell some books anyway, whether I'm in it or not. But no, but it's really a lot of fun. Like I said, anybody that's been involved in Holliston football, or the history of Holliston at all, it's a really fun book to read.
Great.
Yeah. That is so neat. Well, thank you so much, Jay. It looks like it's going to be another really great year for Holliston sports.
I think all the kids are going to do very well.
That's good.
Thanks for coming.
Goodwill Park recently hosted something different, an outdoor yoga class organized by the Yoga Exchange to benefit and raise awareness for Klein-Levin syndrome, or KLS. This is a rare neurological disorder. It's characterized by periods of excessive sleep and altered behavior. It primarily strikes adolescents. For information, go to www.klsfoundation.org. Over 40 people enjoyed the green grass, soft wind, and warm sun as Melanie Harrington, director of the Yoga Exchange, led the class.
So I'm Melanie Harrington, and I'm the owner of the Yoga Exchange right here in Holliston on Exchange Street. And we are doing yoga in the park to help fund Klein-Levin syndrome research. So we're doing a spa yoga class today, which is a very slow flow, floor-based yoga class with lots of hands-on assisting, very relaxing, restorative class. And all of these people that are coming out today are paying $15 towards. All the proceeds are going to Klein-Levin syndrome research, so we're really excited that so many people have come out today. This is Jennifer, and her son actually was just recently diagnosed.
My 15-year-old son, Cooper, was recently diagnosed with Klein-Levin syndrome. It is a very, very rare neurological sleep disorder. Unfortunately, it strikes predominantly male boys around the age of 15 that have had the flu. Their brain, unfortunately, starts to shut down on them, and they go in what's called episodes. And for the episodes, it can last roughly between 10 to 15 days. If a female gets this disease, it could last months. It could go for 9 months, where they're in a sleep mode, they're in a hypnotic state, and basically the only things they could do is sleep, eat, and go to the bathroom. And there's no known true cause, and there is definitely no cure for it. So this event by Melanie and the Yoga Exchange and my family is to raise awareness and funding.
I think we have 43 people that have signed up, but we're hoping a few more maybe will walk in. And earlier today, my kids and I were in front of Fisk's doing a bake sale, and we raised almost $500 there. So, which is amazing. They did all the baking and held out the signs, and people were awesome. They came by and helped donate. So we're really just trying to help build awareness and And I think this event, just walking around, hanging up flyers and people asking about it, has done that. We had a woman come to Fisk's who lives in town, and her son was just recently diagnosed, and so we were able to connect her and Jennifer. And
Yep.
so,
and those flags that are hanging up on the fence are virtual mats where people made donations, but they couldn't unfortunately be at the event. And the outpouring of support has just been unbelievable. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been amazing, yeah. So we have everyone that signed up to register for the class. Jennifer's sister Andrea and Daniela, who's one of our teachers at the studio, they had designed the shirt. So anyone that made the donation to sign up for class gets a shirt with them today. And then we brought over the leftover baked goods. So hopefully people will be hungry after class and buy some more of the baked goods. Yeah.
Service projects are a huge part of most yoga studios because seva, or selfless service, is a key component of their mission. At the Prana Center, Director Jay Wyman explains that they have raised thousands of dollars over the past 15 years. They've had special yoga classes for charities ranging from the Holliston Pantry Shelf, Holliston Senior Center, Walk Against Breast Cancer, and Family Promise Metro West. Their most recent charity is ALS Research, in honor of Holliston's Bill Wexler, who recently retired from Holliston High School.
There is always something to do in Holliston every weekend in the fall. Coming up is Holliston's Historical Society's 37th Annual Harvest Fair on September 24th. This unique event is not to be missed. The crafts and lunch are exceptional. Come early to buy one of their famous homemade apple pies. And the Ada Weissing House will be open with a new display called Inventions from Holliston. Last week, Holliston's farm community showcased their work and products at their annual Farm Day. We captured some of the fun on the video. Well, that's a wrap for the show. Remind viewers that you can watch Heartbeat of Holliston every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 p.m. on Channel 8 on Comcast and on Channel 32 on Verizon. The show is also televised at other times, so check the HCAT schedule. There are many other ways to watch us. You can also watch us on any electronic device with video on demand at www.hcattv.org. Click on video to find us. Now you can even stream video on your phone. Be sure to check our Facebook page and also subscribe to our YouTube page to join all the others who are watching Heartbeat on YouTube. If you don't get email blasts from HCAT TV, you can. We send out announcements when new shows are scheduled to air. Please contact us by email at office@hcattv.org or call 508-429-8979. with an email blast. You'll never miss a show you want to watch. Oh, and on one last note, we welcome your comments and ideas at hoh@hcattv.org. Good night, Chriso.
Good night, Paul. And good night, Holliston.